Whoa, 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 people. Man, I'm sorry about being late. Sorry about being late. Had a little situation today. Shit, my motor locked up on my Mustang on me today, man. So that kind of held me up trying to get my car situation settled. That's my wifey little fun car, so had to make sure that's getting taken care of. But man, how y'all folks doing today, man? Jack Chicago's finest in the building, man. I saw John Shab, Friendly Extortion. Lipinski up in the building. Yeah, y'all came earlier. Man, I apologize about being late. I apologize. Grown man P, what it do, what it do, what it do. Man, we got to talk about, we see a lot of these little drill applications that's going on, and they getting caught up with these straps and everything, man. So everybody need to, I think these shorties need to really understand, like, they need to start knowing the laws, man. They need to start knowing the laws. And Pete, you was talking about this, about con- carrying and concealing state to state yesterday. I heard you talking about that yesterday too, bro. And that's, man, these dudes need to know what they up against. You know what I mean? Like Bezu in Chicago right now, he got jammed up. And even though he didn't have the switches on the joints, they caught him with the high piercing bullets. They caught him with the silencers. They caught him with the bulletproof vests. So that shit, that take it to a federal situation, even though the couple joints you had would have been just some local state shit. You know what I mean? So these young cats need to really understand what they be getting themselves into. They see the shit, they see the dudes on the videos, you know what I mean, with the sticks, with the switches and everything, man. But a lot of these dudes need to understand, even though these cats be on TV showing they doing XYZ. A lot of these dudes actually have legal firearm carry to carry legally. You know what I mean? They might not be telling y'all that on the surface, but you know what I mean? All I'm ain't stupid as hell, man. And it's like, man, anybody over anybody that says at the age right now, as of age, and don't have no felonies, need to make it their business to go get the carry legal, man. If you have a situation where you can go get, but you can legally strap yourself up, that should be a priority right now for guys in our community, especially these young boys, because they living this life, man. As they living this life that's, man, that's real dangerous right now. So they need to, man. You got to protect yourself. And a lot of these dudes' mentality is, I'd rather get caught with it than without it, especially in Chicago. Cause Chicago, man, you get caught with a joint, you gonna get a you gonna get a decent bail. And if you ain't got no, if your jacket ain't all messed up, you know what I'm saying? I understand some dudes get out on the on recon. I done got out on the on recon on the strap with serial numbers scratched out before in Chicago. So you know what I mean? These dudes need to really start understanding the laws in the cities that they in, man, because it is different city to city. One thing might pass and fly in this city, might not fly in the next city. So they need to start understanding what they up against and start knowing really what they rights are, man. And I'm saying too many dudes get locked up in it. You be in a county jail, and if you make your way over to the pen, how many people see these jailhouse lawyers, man? That keep telling you, oh man, you can beat that. That wasn't legal. This wasn't legal. That wasn't legal. They shouldn't have did this to you. You can beat that if you take it to trial. Now y'all better stop listening to these damn jailhouse lawyers and get you a legit lawyer. Salute that blue salute, salute. And get you a legit lawyer and stop going off what these prisoners that's already locked up being jailhouse lawyers. If they was that good of a damn lawyer, they probably wouldn't be up in there their damn self. So these young boys need to start, man. Your, the, the the attachments that you add to these guns to make yourself look cooler, that shit that takes you from a state situation to a federal situation just by upgrading your gun, just by walking around there. These piercing bullets, those bullets alone will take it to federal charge. You know what I mean? You get a vest, that's gonna take it to a federal charge. Silencers take it to a federal charge. You know what I mean? So they need to start understanding their rights, man. Twin in there. Yeah, Miss 702. How you doing, man? Man, thank you for checking in, Miss 702. I appreciate that, man. So it's like, man, these young dudes need to start really understanding why they washing themselves up, man. Because they already trying to live up to this persona of what they got, what they think they supposed to be in the community, especially showing what they think they supposed to be on these drill rap videos. Man, stop showing all the guns in your videos for starters. And all of that shit. Stop telling specifics about how hood and how much of a criminal you are, man, and using all that against you right now, man. And these young dudes, man, they don't like to listen to old cats like me, man. But I done did some little spot jail times, but I ain't never did no long extended period of time. But I also always thought about what the hell I was doing before I did it in the streets. I ain't just never react off of how this situation might have made me just react and ready to spaz out, man. I always thought about how the hell I was gonna do some shit. So that and I had a lot of people praying for me as well. So you know what I mean? You got to think about what you're doing out in these streets. If you just recklessly trying to get in where you fit in and make sure your joint bigger than the next one, yours more attachments than the next one, man, that shit gonna also put your ass in a whole nother level of how much time you doing, what type of time you're gonna get in most of these states, man. You talk about the feds, it's 85, man. So nigga tell you 12 years. On 85% of that time, you doing what? Almost 11 of that. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta start, these dudes gotta start using their brains, man. You gotta start using their brains. So I'm trying to get these dudes some good info to help them in the long run, man. Cause it's like this Beijing situation in Chicago opening a lot of these young cats' eyes up. Cause it's like they putting out narratives, but all the narratives wasn't legit. But even though it didn't look as bad, what they found in the car makes it just as bad as like if he would have had some switches on there. So man, y'all gotta start, man, opening your eyes. And if you are legally of age with no felonies, go and get your to carry and conceal license immediately. So you can protect yourself out of these vicious streets right now. And you ain't gotta worry about if you get pulled over. You know what I mean? You can ride with it than without it. Because all you cats, once y'all jump off the porch, y'all record was pretty good up until then. But then once you jump off the porch, man, they snatch you right up within that first year, and you got a serious charge, but that's gonna carry with you for the rest of your life, man. I'm just starting to get stuff expunged off my record. You know what I mean? From shit I did in the past. Cause it's like, man, this ain't we don't have them crash courses on keeping our records clean, keeping our finances clean, keeping our credit clean. We don't have them open courses in our households enough in our community, man. And that's sending these kids out here by themselves, man, just blind. You know what I mean? Tunnel vision. All they see is the tail-eye vision. So that's giving them tunnel vision on how they feel as though they got to carry themselves and represent themselves out here, man. So we need to start waking these shorties up, man. That's for starters, man. So, you know, that I feel as though I'm in a position where I need to speak out against it, man. I ain't scared to tell these shorties the things they need to be doing. They don't need to be doing the crimes, but if you gonna put yourself in the positions, because everybody's situation is different. Some people backs against the wall where they have to jump out there off the porch and do what they gotta do. So you can't always just preach to them and tell them, man, you don't do this. You know, that's the goal. But if they're not listening to that part of it, at least try to school these young men on how to legally protect themselves, how to legally, if you get jammed up, have less amount of time that you're dealing with instead of throwing your life away and you ain't even hit 20 years of age, man. We need more memberships for the young men. Man, mentorship. Oh, man, sisters, man, yes, we do. It's like, man, I got down at the church here in Baltimore. excuse me, Pastor B.J. Hunt. He's a dude that came from the streets, so he understood the ins and outs of a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? A few years ago, he pulled me up to, you know what I mean, do some little things with him, man. And it's like, man, I speak out to these shorties, man. And it's like we go out and do food drives with the homeless down all on Broadway Street and everything, man. That type of stuff, man. And once you're out there doing that, a lot of them will listen to you if you come at them on a different type of time, man. And it's like, man, my brothers here, they doing the Israelite thing right now. But it's like that's not my religion. That's not my. I'm not knocking anybody for their religion or anything. But some of them guys get out there and speak some of the real deal. The fancy NYC, yo, what it do, what it do. So it's like some of the rhetoric that they speak is actually some good stuff to put in your ear and into your brain, you know. I just like, man, we can't always just keep saying, well, that was expected of him. We knew he was gonna go out like that, man. We knew that was gonna happen to him. Because man, I went back home one year and I wound up going up to my middle school, Roselle Parks Middle School in Harvey, Illinois. And I had left home so early and left Chicago so early. I left out at 14, just on my own, just out there doing what I do, you know. And it's like, man, I wound up going back years later and went back to talk to some of the old staff. And man, my old social study teacher, she was the principal by that time. My science teacher, she was the vice principal. They like, man, we never knew what happened to you, but we just figured you was like locked up or dead like the rest of them around here. I'm like, damn, how do we just have a stigma with no expectations of these black men to even make it out here, yo? I'm like, man, that was an insult to me. I was real bright in school. You know what I mean? I didn't have, my problem in school wasn't the learning or the, you know what I mean, the taking in the information. My problem in school was the conditions I was living in. You know what I mean? My mom wasn't buying the Jordans for me. I wasn't gonna have the Levi's and the Lees stepping up in there fresh to death. So my conditions made me stray away from schooling a little bit because, man, kids are harsh, man. You know what I'm saying? Kids are harsh to the haves and the have-nots. It's a big gap up in there. So it's a good thing that a lot of these states have went to the uniforms. But that's, man, that helped a lot of kids balance out the bullying and shit. You know what I mean? Then you look up once the shorty leaves school because his conditions ain't right, and he's up in the streets. And that's when he turned to one of the goons out here, because you know what I mean. He ain't got nothing else to do except try to survive in the situations that he's doing. So it's a bigger picture to all of this. But man, we gotta definitely speak up on it and talk about it more. And where's that? We need more membership. I mean, mentors in our community, man. We definitely do. But the problem is a lot of the old cats, a lot of them burn out. They didn't make it through the drug epidemic, still in their right frame of mind. So a lot of the shorties ain't even trying to listen to nothing they talking about. They're the ones that ain't fried and burnt out. They might got some smut on their jacket from something else. You understand what I mean? So the shorties ain't paying that no mind. And then if you ain't financially stable, a lot of shorties don't want to listen to you like that. But even if you're not financially stable, you still can carry yourself like an adult / OG and represent yourself in a manner that, man, they have to respect you, man. You know what I mean? 'Cause if you ain't out there talking too much, they don't know what your financial situation is anyway. They just know you carry yourself appropriately and you trying to get these bros some real game. So we need to start, man. We need to start schooling them and open their eyes up to what they dealing with when it comes to these streets. Because a lot of them do something in these streets and just assume they coming home after 4 or 5 and not even knowing that whole situation you just did. Once they tally all that up, man, you sitting up with a 30 piece and you 18 years old. And they ain't ready for that, man. And then we get once you get up in the system, how many of y'all remember the pill call? Pill call? When you up in there, man, you see them shorties break to the fucking line to get the pills. As they numbing out that pain, trying to deal with the reality of how long they up in there. You know what I mean? And you had these shorties that, man, when you out in the streets and you got that pistol or that stick with you the man. But when you go up in that joint and you 140 pounds, soaking wet, and you got grown men up in here, grown men, that can grab you up by your neck and do whatever the hell they want to do to you, you really ain't prepared to be up in there. You know what I mean? You really ain't prepared for what you're about to go through up in there. You sitting on 30 years. You sitting on 30 years at 18, 19, you 130, 140 pounds soaking wet. And you got old Billy up in there in the next room, sitting up in there, sweaty as hell, 260, all solid with chisel to the death with not an ounce of fat on him, ready to do and violate you in any kind of way you want to, man. Any kind of way you want to. So these shorties don't be really ready to go up in there, man. When you go to a real penitentiary, you know what I mean? You got a lot of these jails now where the shorties, and look, shorties in the gangs is holding shit down, but that depends on the state that you in. I just stay in some states where when you jump in that pen, the old heads still running the pen. It ain't always like Rikers Island where them young boys in there running wild and they turn shit up and they regulating how it go. It ain't like that everywhere around this country. And now these dudes be doing this rap thing. So that means they wind up in different cities and different states. So they better know, man, you get locked up in a specific state, man, you can have real problems that you ain't ready for, man. And I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and we was talking about BC and AC. What do you think of when you hear AC and BC? Historically, what do you think of? Most people think before Christ and after Christ, right? I think of it before crack and after crack. Cause man, before crack, we used to be able to hit the skate rinks. We used to be able to hit the movie theaters. We used to hit the local carnivals, and everybody make it home, have a good time. Everybody from all sectors of the city, all around different blocks. But after crack, what we start seeing in our neighborhoods, and before crack, it was some solid, fundamental two-parent households in the hood. It was some, even a one-parent household, the mothers was carrying it in a certain type of manner. And man, people took care of their front yards and their lawns and everything. After crack, what you start noticing, man, the grass in the front, all in the yards, extra tall, nobody cut them. The busted out windows. And they turned to you got more bandos on a block with 6, 7 houses with gated in fences and somebody looking like they live there. Man, how the hell can you live especially like, man, when you got these row houses, man, the first 4 baking out, rat infested, where motherfuckers prostituted trick off up in there and shoot up and everything else in there. The next 2 might be families with kids. The next 3, bandos. The next 2 on the end, family in there. How the hell can, man? It's crazy how that's where you financially can live and stay. It's a whole bunch to all of this, man. But I'm just trying to, open up some of these youngsters' eyes, man, to making sure they try to get themselves a better chance at this shit out here. Man, it's stacked against them already. And then if you got a name in your neighborhood where they already know you down for the smoke, you down for the get down. A lot of these officers is crooked officers. So even if they pull up on a car, and they might find a strap in the car, it's 2, 3 guys up in there. If you known for the bullshit, them officers automatically throwing that joint on you unless somebody speak up and say, man, that's mine. I ain't letting nobody else go down for my situation. And a lot of dudes, they ain't even that honorable no more to even do that type thing. So you got to watch who you jump in the car with. You got to watch who you riding around with. You got to watch who you give a ride to. Because, man, you'll give a ride to somebody you know, man. Ride up to the market, man. I'm walking, it's hot out here. And you just put them up in your car. You just happen to get pulled over because, they get pulled over a lot in our neighborhoods. You not knowing he got a strap on him, a pack of pills, and he throw that shit down up in, under your seat, and you not you charged with a gun and some, you gotta man, because everybody not respectable and honorable and got no morals about themselves. So man, you shorties gotta start waking up, man. You gotta start waking up, man, and stop trying to live up to this so-called image or this portrayal of what they say we're supposed to be like, man. You know what I mean? Because that's BS in itself. Stop living up to a stigma that they giving us, and you gotta try to live up to that shit, man. Nah, you gotta start waking up, man. I just want to touch on little stuff like this, man, and keep people in the mix, man. Let's school these young boys on something, man. And start telling. Let's use these platforms to start putting out some content that's beneficial to somebody other than just always some the beef sector and shit. You know what I mean? Let's try and put out some content that's gonna help some of these youths, man. It's gonna help some of these adults that's still thinking like youths. You know, that's my take on it, man. I just wanted to tap in, man, and put that out there. Understand what you're getting yourself into when you playing with them guns in these streets, fellas. Understand when you putting all these, you making your shit looking like Rambo, but you finna get some time that Rambo wasn't getting, man. So that was my take on this today, man. Sorry I came in late, man. I had the situation with my wife's vehicle, trying to get that taken care of. So I was running a little late today, man. So man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in. L Blue, always love. Lipinski, salute. Man, y'all always show love to me. Miss 702, man, it's good to see you up in here, man. I appreciate it. Keep coming at me, man. I try and give good content, man. Grown man P, I just talked to you a minute ago, so we chops it up all the time, right? So man, let's try and help these young folks out, man, in a different type of way, Stop just giving them the bullshit to run on out here, man. So that's it for me tonight, man. Yeah, Shot Town's finest. You already know. You ain't got to respect me, but you will not disrespect me. Holla back. Like, subscribe, and share, folks. Like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it to the fullest. Without a doubt. We out.